Hi, everyone. It's nice to have you here. Today, we're going to talk about CIS hardening. It's going to be a short presentation followed by a demo. Let me start by sharing my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. So, CIS hardening coming to MicroK 1.28. Overall, in MicroK, we have a very good story around security. We have private builds with FIPS. We have now with 128 automatic CIS hardening. We using internally Trivi to get to scan our repository and the images that we have. And we also have it as an add-on, the Trivi operator, we have it as an add-on, a community add-on. Of course, there is also the story around strict confinement that includes immutable Ubuntu core. And this is an extra level around security that has to do with that uses AppArmor profiles so that it keeps the Kubernetes cluster and its workloads confined as an extra layer of security. So here, we're going to discuss about CIS. So CIS is a set of recommendations coming from the Center of Internet Security, a set of recommendations around hardening of technologies against cyber attacks. CIS is an independent non-profit organization, and it has become kind of an unofficial standard around security. A lot of customers are asking for it. And honestly, if you go through the recommendations that they have, they make absolutely sense without being extreme in their suggestions. So these recommendations, of course, the recommendations that come from CIS do not are not only for Kubernetes, they are for the whole system. Here, we're going to be looking at the Kubernetes part. The Kubernetes part is a set of recommendations, as we said, that covers the following areas. Control plane security configuration, the data store configuration that for us is DQLite. Then we have recommendations around control plane node configuration, as well as node configuration. And of course, CIS comes with a set of policies that you should follow if you want to be if you want to set up a Kubernetes cluster in a safe and secure way. Now, what do we have for 128? For 128, we will have an add-on that you will be able to call with MicroK enable CIS hardening. With this add-on, you will get a command. We will basically enhance the CLI of MicroK with Kube-bench. You will be able to call Kube-bench with MicroK space Kube-bench. And Kube-bench is the tool that you probably know. It's kind of one of the main tools that can actually do standard checks against your cluster to see if the CIS recommendations actually have been followed. Okay, so as we said, this is the add-on that will come with 128. For pre-128 deployments, you will have to follow manual steps that we will discuss. I will show you where they are. If you want to go and reach and apply CIS hardening on your cluster. Okay, so here, what we have a set of documentation pages. Let's first go through those. Then we will jump into the demo. and then you will have time to ask any questions. Okay, can you see the documentation page?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the landing page of MicroK CIS hardening, of the MicroK documentation around CIS hardening, the introduction that we discussed, and then here you also see a link to the CIS hardening assessment. What is this? This is the page that gets you through the add-on. Okay, it tells you how you're supposed to enable it. Okay, this is an add-on. You do it with launch configurations. If you want to have your node pre-configured, this is the launch configuration. If you want to enable it after the deployment, you do MicroK enable CIS hardening. Okay. Now, as we said, you get the benchmark, the Kube benchmark, that you can use with the known arguments of Kube-bench. Okay. Now, before I get you to this configuration, this page also includes the CIS hardening assessment. What is this? For its configuration, for its recommendation, you will find a small section that says, what is this recommendation about? How is this remediated through the add-on? And what you have to do in case you want to do it manually. Okay. Then there is also a section that tells you, if you are an auditor, how you're supposed to check that this policy, this recommendation is actually applied. The reason behind this, the reason why we have a separate set of instructions is because MicroK does not follow the default paths, for example, of the Kubernetes services. So here, for example, we want to check that the permissions of a file is set to 600. The file is this one. Okay. These are the file that contains the arguments of the API server. This file has to have permissions 600. This is just an example. Okay. Now, as we said, as soon as you, okay, some of these are automatically checked. Some of these recommendations are not possible to be checked manually. Let me give you an example of this. As we said, the CIS recommendations also include suggestions around policies that you could apply when you set up a cluster. This is the section 5. Let me go there. So recommendations like this minimize access to secrets. This has to be addressed manually by policies that are around Kubernetes. Okay, so for this, we cannot do anything. And these are flagged as warnings so that you go and check them when you actually go and try to harden the node, and you call Kube-bench. Okay, so let's move now to a demo. Stop sharing this. Let me share my terminal. Okay, can you see my terminal?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So what do I have here? Here I have a VM on AWS. Obviously, we can do. Do we have MicroK here? Okay, we have MicroK. I'm going to which version? Okay, kube control version. Great. This is 128 RC. Is it running? Okay, it is running. Okay, so if I come here and do microgates enable CIS hardening, it's already enabled. So I'm not going to I'm going to be fair here. I'm going to remove this, and we will start from the beginning. Oh, wait, I have another machine here. Okay, excellent. So this is another machine. Sudo snap install microgates classic channel latest edge. Okay, I can do 128, but latest edge should give me 127 with this specific add-on. Okay. Okay, configuring hook. Let's wait. Let's wait for the node to come up. I hope it does. Come on. Okay, so it came up. So if we do, it says Calico is starting and DNS is also coming up. Cool. So if we do microgates, enable CIS hardening. Also, as part of the hardening recommendations, you also get RBAC enabled by default. There are some extra files that have to do with auditing, for example. And then you also need to apply some extra configurations around extra configuration arguments for services like the API server, kubelet, and all this. So for this reason, we first stop the services. Then we set up file permissions. As you saw, there was one in the recommendations. API server arguments, control manager arguments, kubelet, and then we start the services. At the end of this, you get this message saying how you can call Kube-bench. So here, this is the Kube-bench that you know. Here are all the arguments. You can do Kube-bench. And it will run all the tests. And it will tell you here that 83 checks passed. You have 41 warnings. Most of them are in the 5 section, which is the policy recommendations. And of course, if you're interested in any specific one, you can do check. Let's say the 573. It will run only this one this time. And you can go in and say, this is the recommendation. That's about it. If you need more logs for something that doesn't feel right, you can do -v. Okay. So in order for this specific Kube-bench to work, there is a configuration that is specific to Kube-bench for microgates, and you can find this one under. Of course, it's in the GitHub repository, but this is where it gets deployed. It gets deployed under the add-ons, core add-ons, and CIS hardening config. Okay, so here you get the configuration for Kube-bench that you can call even if you don't want to enable this add-on. Okay, this is why I'm showing you this to you. Okay. I don't have anything else for the demo. Do you have any questions before I switch windows? Okay, let's get back to the presentation then. Okay, so I showed you the official doc, CIS assessment, and the Kube-bench configuration and checks if you want to run them manually. 128 is out. The release candidate is in the 128 candidate channel. You can deploy it right now. And if you want to reach us, this is how our website, discussions, report issues on GitHub, and of course, these community hours. Last point is the upcoming sessions. Next week, we will have dual stack, presentation on dual stack, and the week after, Ceph integration, with featuring a new add-on called microceph. Rook Ceph, and that will integrate with microceph stuff. That's me. I don't have anything more. Any questions? No one?
So thank you, Kos, for very nice presentation, and also for making it very simple. So I think we have a couple of hands up. Or yes. I don't know how to see it. So if you have something to say, just unmute yourself and then speak. Okay. No, one thing talking about the whole microcase, about the and how we are addressing this enterprise segment on the edge computing and the IoT. We have already many features related to this, like automatic high availability. Microcase is a low footprint, meaning that it can fit many places that other Kubernetes distributions cannot fit. We have launched configuration also for simplification of the startup, that when microcase is starting, the right configuration is up and running from the beginning. We have the concept of the add-on that is simplifying the setup of many different Kubernetes services or operators, and also the integration with the Trivia operator in security. So what CIS is bringing to microcase is the next step, that now microcase can be used in this infrastructure that they need to have these security standards in order to run Kubernetes services. So I think this release 128, including the CIS, is going to bring microcase for new capabilities and new type of deployments that it was not possible to be deployed before, and also with the simplicity that you and the whole team have done. So I think this is a successful feature and successful story that we will see how it develops in the future. So thanks a lot. And any last question before ending, or?
Thank you for that. Just what I wanted to say. That was a good presentation. Where would the slides be?
So the slides, we will upload them in the meetup that you registered for.
Oh, okay, brilliant.
And there is also a YouTube channel where we upload the presentations, and there you should be able to find the video, plus in the comments, in the description of the video, the slides.
Okay, I'll find it and look it out. I'm going to run a deployment for a small thing that I'm testing out right now. It looks like a really good project. Thank you very much.
Sounds good. Thank you. Just be aware that it will take us some time to upload this. It's not our normal workflow.
No, of course not. I'm not in a rush. I just want to start using it now for some stuff. I think it would be really handy. Anyway, I'll come to the next meetups. So that was great. Thank you.
Let me paste the two links, the two documentation links on the chat in case you wanna check them out now. Here.
Brilliant. Thank you.
I'm thinking that maybe we should share the documentation also in the microcases Slack as well. And the videos, when they are produced, we can put it there. But at least for this session today, I think it will take a bit of time because now big portion of the team will go on vacation in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, of course. Like I'm just gonna put a deployment up and then forget about it and then come back and see what's broken. That's what I'm gonna do.
If there is something broken, that maybe it is working out of the box. Who knows?
No, it'll be something in my stuff. I don't think it'll be yours. Brilliant.
Okay. So any other comment or last question before closing? Or